A Minneapolis jury yesterday hands down a verdict for ex-cop Kim Potter on 2 manslaughter charges for the death of 20-year-old Daunte Wright back in April. Joining me now, David Bruno, criminal defense attorney, trial attorney, and former prosecutor. First, Merry Christmas to you, David. Thank you for taking time to join us early as we get ready for the holidays. A very difficult trial, watching all of that yesterday. What's your reaction to the verdict?
Yeah, my first reaction is this was a deliberation. It was a long deliberation. Some of the legal experts like myself, were questioning whether or not we were even going to get a verdict because of this. I mean, it went on for 4 days, 27 hours of deliberation on 2 counts. And it wasn't an entirely complex case. It was a split-second decision by Kim Potter, and that jury took its time to do it. 30 witnesses. It was a deliberate deliberation, and certainly it's very tough to look back and criticize it because they were the ones in the courtroom. They're the ones that get all of the evidence, and they came out with a tough decision, but they were unanimous as they did it, and they came back guilty on these 2 charges.
Yeah, first-degree manslaughter carrying up to 15 years. We'll find out in February what her sentence is. Let me ask you, David, though, if you were representing Potter, would you have put her on the stand? What was your thoughts on how she did and whether or not that helped or hurt her?
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20. It's one of the most difficult decisions that a criminal defense attorney and a defendant have to make at trial. Because that prosecutor has the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And the jury is instructed that they cannot use a defendant's silence, that they did not testify. They can't use it in their deliberations whatsoever because of the presumption of innocence and the right to remain silent. So when somebody takes the stand, it narrows the focus on the defendant themselves. And Kim, she came across as emotional. And she was remorseful. I think that was number one, what she wanted to convey. But she had some problems in her testimony that I think really is the result of this conviction. First off, the training. I mean, this is a 26-year-old veteran that got on that stand and really testified that she didn't remember her training on the taser. She didn't fire a taser in her entire career. She didn't remember what she was trained on, specific principles that would have been important at that particular incident. That's number one. Also, the gun versus the taser. I mean, it's like a 50% difference in weight. And we saw 2 days ago, right before the verdict, that jury wanted the gun. They wanted to feel the gun. Mm-hmm. And that was a big problem, too, when you have 2 sides and it's different colors and weights. Problems that I think she had.
So, David, I want to play quickly a soundbite from our constitutional scholar and Fox News contributor, Jonathan Turley. Here's what he said. Listen.
I think this is a real chilling moment for a lot of law enforcement because I think the jury, as most people agreed, she did not intend to shoot Mr. Wright. Her response right after the shooting really showed that. And so the jury was left with this very ambiguous standard of, did she consciously disregard the harm in that scene? We have to really debate this as a society and whether laws like Minnesota should be clarified to make it very clear that you're not just criminalizing simple negligence. You need something more.
David, I just got about 20 seconds left. Your reaction to what this might mean for law enforcement going forward?
My biggest reaction for law enforcement is training. I said it in the last piece. Look, they need to know how to use these weapons. They need to know the difference between a taser and a gun. They need to be trained in this situation so that people like this decedents do not die.
David Bruno, thank you for joining us. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too, Griff. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.